Now let's go over on how to use the quadratic formula to solve this quadratic equation for number 14. And hopefully we should get the same answer as the one that we got earlier with completing square. Alright, our first job is to make sure our quadratic equation has one side equal to 0, and we do have that. And in order for us to use the quadratic formula, we have to determine the value of a, b, and c. So the value of a, it's the number in front of the x squared, and here we have 1. And the value of b, it's equal to negative 8. It's the number in front of the x, and we have negative 8. And c, it's equal to positive 13. Now next, if you want to use the quadratic formula, of course we have to remember what the quadratic formula is. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And you have to make sure you set up the quadratic formula correctly, drawing in the numbers. So this is the setup. After you plug in all the numbers into the variables, like negative b becomes negative of negative 8, because the b value is negative 8. And then you maintain the plus minus, square root, open the parentheses, and you draw in the negative 8 here for b. Square that, minus 4 times 1 times 13. All over 2 times 1, right? So I just kind of match the variables with the values and then just plug in the numbers. And now we are going to work out the calculations. So we see that here we have negative times negative 8. That results as a positive 8. And positive 8 plus minus, I will open my square root. Inside I do have negative 8 squared. That means negative 8 times negative 8. I have 64. And here I have 4 times 1, which is 4. 4 times 13 is 52. And it's minus 52. Everything on the top, all over 2 times 1. And that will give you 2. And now I just have to subtract the numbers inside the square root. I have a plus minus square root of 64 minus 52. That gives us positive 12 inside. All over the number 2. At the moment, as you can see, our answer right here is different than the ones that we got earlier. And the reason for that is because square root of 12 can be simplified. We are going to think about how can we break down square root of 12. And the result for that is we can take square root of 4 and times square root of 3. That will be square root of 12, right? We know that square root of 4 times square root of 3 will be square root of 12. And that's good because square root of 4 it's a regular number 2. So on the top, I actually have 8 plus minus. The square root of 4 will turn into a 2. And I will maintain my square root of 3 right here. All over 2. And once again, we have to be careful here. In order for us to simplify this, to factor this out, this is how to do it. I have 8 right here and 2 right here. I can factor out a 2. And if I factor out 2, originally I have 8, now it will become 4. And I will have plus minus square root of 3 left. And now I can cancel this 2 with the 2 on the denominator. And overall, my final answer is going to be 4 plus minus square root of 3. Just like the one that we got from completing the square.